let's go look how handy the CSS reference in W3 Schools can be. So the W3 Schools has a CSS tutorial that has lots of good information for learning CSS, as well as a CSS reference. And here it lists all the properties that you can use to set. And this becomes very handy. And notice that they're grouped by ways that you might want to use them. So we've already used color and background color, which would be found in this grouping, and text align, which would be found in there. So a handy way to do this. It also has in the tutorial, it would have information about selectors and how they work, right? And all these different things that you want to learn about CSS. So a really good way to understand the beginning of CSS if you're interested in doing that. All right, what are some more interesting ones that we might want to learn? Let's put a border around our paragraph. So border is made up of 3 properties. There's the border style property and the border width property and the border color. All right, so those are the 3 border properties. Well, there's actually more, but those are the 3 basic border ones. And so if I go to the reference, right, and I look up border properties, background and borders. So here we see the background color that we've used. And if we go down here to border, we see border color, border style, right? And border width. All right, so those are the 3 basic ones that we want to set. And as you check these, one of the things that you can do is you can say, okay, what are the values? So the border width property here, what are the allowed values? Here it tells you what the default value is medium, and it tells you what they can be. So these are keywords: medium, thin, thick, length, initial, and inherit. Now notice that length is italicized. That means that you get to add the length value. These other ones that are, when they're not italicized, that means they're keywords and you just have to use that keyword. So if we want to choose length, length is a really common value, and the value for length is a number. For example, we might do 8 followed by a unit. And the one that we're most familiar with is pixel, px, but there's many other units that you can use when you're using a length property. In fact, we can use it go ahead and look at our web page that we have here, and notice how it shows you can use a keyword or you can use a length, and here's some of the lengths that are allowed. IN for inches. Notice that all of them are 2 characters, and you want to put the number right up against the 2 characters. We can do inches, we can do points, we can do pixels, so a variety of types that we can use for length. So let's go ahead and leave that at 8 pixels. Let's see what our option for border styles are. So if we go back and we look at our other borders, let's look at border style. I'm not going to do this with all the properties. I'm just going to do this one time so you can see how to use this great resource. So we go down to border style. It tells us a little bit about it. It gives us these options to try it yourself, where you can play with the code to make a difference. And then it comes down and tells you what are the allowed values. And here we have a whole series of keywords. So there's a whole bunch of keywords. So we can use double, solid, dashed, a variety of border styles. So you go ahead and pick the one you want and add a border style, add a border width and a border color. And here the colors are going to be the same, right? We're using hex colors right now. So I can say, oh, I could make this border a really light color, or I can pick it. So you pick the color, the border width, and the border style that you want on these special paragraphs, and then go back and refresh your page and see how that worked. So there's my border, and it shows up on any paragraph that is set with class equal to special. All right, so what did you come up with? What does your border look like? Now, there's one thing, a warning I want to give you here, and this comes up when you look at the default value for border style is none, which means if you choose only to set, let's just say that we didn't do the border style, we just said, well, I want an 8-pixel border and I want it to be this color, and then I go in and refresh, I'm going to end up with no border. And that is because the style is set to none. Notice it doesn't take up any space, so that it doesn't take up those 8 pixels. It just displays no border. That's the default. So you have to always put a border style. Okay, so go ahead and style that.